my Monster Hunter story, as you can see coming up. Hey, it's Jack here, and as you can see, I have my Monster Hunter 15-year t-shirt on, and that is because in the next few weeks, one of my favourite games of the next, upcoming months is coming out, of Monster Hunter Rise. So I think I was going to sort of have a bit of a chat, an off-the-cuff chat of my journey with Monster Hunter, and explain my experience, what I went through, and different things I went through during this series. So we start back at, I tried a demo for Monster Hunter Unite, and I couldn't do it. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I had to do. No idea. Then I also think I had Monster Hunter Try on the Wii, and pardon the pun, but I did give that a try, and again, I had no idea what I was doing. It wasn't until later, went back to college, and I met a good friend who I don't talk to anymore, unfortunately. And I do apologise if this next word is a bit rude or offend anybody, but I explained the fact that I didn't know how to play Monster Hunter, and he was quite a large fan. And he then called me a pansy and told me to continue to play. So I picked up another copy of Monster Hunter Unite for the PSP, and then it just clicked. Don't get me wrong, there were some hard challenges, especially with the PSP. As veterans of the franchise know about the claw, because there's no second analog stick on the PSP. You have to use the claw, and I did that for about 350 odd hours, I think, before the inevitability of me getting a PS Vita with 2 analog sticks. So I did enjoy my time with Monster Hunter 3D Unite. I got to HR6. I did try to get to G rank, but I had no chance. I kept running out of time, and I just couldn't. I wasn't good enough compared to what I do see some of these naked Fatalis runs. I mean, I tried to fight against white Fatalis, and I just died. But yeah, as I've always said, is that I do enjoy the Monster Hunter games, but I'm not that great at them. I'm all right, but the issue with Monster Hunter, it is quite a steep learning curve. You do need a friend or someone who's knowledgeable of the franchise to get into it. And then that leads me on to the next game that I've got, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I also did get the Circle Pad Pro, but also at the time I did have the original 3DS, which was a bit smaller, and so the text was a little bit fuzzy. Again, I really enjoyed my time with this. I think I got about 150 hours on this game. I got to about high rank on there. Again, I've never got to G rank of any of the previous games until one of the later games, thanks to some of my friends, which I'll get onto that. But yeah, Monster Hunter 3, not my favourite in the franchise, but it was definitely worth it. And plus, I like the different types of armor that you can get now. Plus, blast damage was completely OP. Then we go on to the possibly my favourite game of the franchise of Monster Hunter 4. It's definitely my Monster Hunter 4 is my favourite game of all of them, because it's just a nice balance of for veterans and for new people alike. I like the story. I like the fact that you go to different worlds, you go to different places. You got to go on an airship. I do really enjoy this version. Again, I think I got about 200 hours on there. Again, didn't get to G rank on here. Again, I get to high rank, but not G rank. I'm unfortunately not that good. But for me, Monster Hunter 4 is definitely my favourite in the franchise. And anyone who says about Monster Hunter, I do recommend this one with a pinch of salt. So I'm going to go on to some of the different things that I've experienced during Monster Hunter. I have these two face paints for Monster. This is the English one. And if I do find this picture, I'll splice him in. I met a bloke called... This is Dave Backey, who I did when I was at EGX 2015. He was the community rep for Monster Hunter and Phoenix Wright. And here was a strange pig that was rather large, and everyone kept stroking him for good luck. I went to EGX 2015, I think it was, and I was part of Team Nintendo, and I helped people on the Monster Hunter wing. They said, who's played Monster Hunter 4? And I put my hand straight up. And so over the weekend, I was helping people play Monster Hunter. One of my biggest highlights is whether there was an Italian lady who I've never met before, but I helped her beat the Jaggy, I think it is, on the very first game. It was a little bit painful considering I'm not a monster know-it-all, but I am a veteran of the series, so it was quite painful seeing people who've never played the game before using the charge blade or dying and using 3 continues on a Jaggy. That was really really hurt. And back with this one, it says Monster Hunter 4G, which is what the Japanese name is for Monster Hunter Ultimate, but G is obviously for G rank. Is Monster Hunter Stories. Again, I picked this up straight after watching the presentation of Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2 being released, and I have to say I am pleasantly surprised. It's a bit of like it's a bit like you have a power attack, a swift attack, and an agility attack or something like that. They're green, red, and blue, and each one is weak against each other. So rock, paper, scissors type of game. But I am absolutely pleasantly surprised by this, and also not just me, is that when the this game was announced, this became the top selling either DS game or the 3DS game of that week. Here's what I was talking about, but I think it was on the American Amazon, not the UK Amazon website. But honestly, if you're not a big fan of Monster Hunter, you've tried it, you're not getting into it, I do recommend this because this is more of an RPG story-based game. I've not played it for past few weeks, but I will get back into it. There are some questions and quizzes during the game of because I'm knowledgeable of the franchise, I know what they're talking about. But honestly, if you can pick this up, it's getting a bit expensive. I got this for 18 quid. The next day it went down to 15, which is a little bit annoying. But I do highly recommend Monster Hunter Stories if you're unsure of the franchise. Probably not doing this in complete day order, but then we do have the Monster Hunter Worlds on the PS4 again. This is a breath of fresh air of the series. For me, it is one of the better games of the series, but I do prefer the older games. The fact there's like each world is in a segment. I do prefer that fact that you can't drink when you're taking the potion. I prefer that. I just think there's an overall bigger challenge. Don't get me wrong, there was some challenging parts during this game, and again, there were some challenges during the game, but I actually did try and platinum this game. Going a bit of a tangent, I wanted this to be my first platinum, but actually my first platinum, my only platinum since, is a game called Tearaway on the Vita. That is my only platinum on for PlayStation. It's a bit of a tangent, but it is what it is. And then I'm going to go on to some figures that I've got. I do like to shout out to... This is my good friend Nick, or Retro Break. He is about 200 people away from 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So please go and give his channel a view. I do like to shout out to my friend Nick, or Retro Break, who actually has provided quite a few items. He's provided this t-shirt for me. He also did provide this the last time he went to Japan. Incidentally, we're actually come to a year since he actually went to Japan, before all this COVID and lockdown stuff happened, because I actually gone house at his flat, and he brought me a few things back. He brought me that very nice figurine, and he also got me this one. The second time he went to Japan, he then got me this one, but the very first time he got to Japan, he got me this, which is absolutely fantastic, because the 4 wasn't out at this time, and then he got that. That is a Gore Magala, and it's a little chap using a bone insect lathe, as you just about to see there. I also do have some again, this isn't my video. This is what Nick did. Also got me this, because again, I got 2 more games on there, which I'll probably talk about in just a second. So one of my newer favourite monsters from the games is a Malifestio, sorry. The Malifestio is the owl. I absolutely love the Malifestio. The only thing you could find with anything related to the Malifestio was this lovely sticker. And it's confusing because when the Malifestio attacks, it does like a minute or so where your controls go backwards. Slightly annoying, but you can get over it. And it brings me on to the next 2 games we've got for Switch. Yeah, they are both the same game, as you can see. The only difference is that this one is the Japanese version, because back at the time there was no report of Monster Hunter Generations coming to Switch. I did have Generations for the 3DS, but I traded that in for this version, the Japanese version. I actually did try and learn some Japanese for this game, but it was just too hard to try, because what you had to do was retranslate the translation. So for example, Gaiacrus is known as the water dragon in Japan, and it isn't like water dragon, it's a symbol with a shape. So I had to try and guess the symbol and look for that. I remember I needed one of its horns. It took me about 6 or 7 times to find the horns, and no chance. Whereas with the European version, it's in English, I can understand it, and this is the first game I actually got to G rank, which I do have some friends that play Monster Hunter, and they actually got me to there. And that leads us on to, Monster Hunter Rise comes out on the 26th of March. I know we are in the middle of a lockdown, so I'm not sure at the moment what I'm going to do in there, but I do have the Pro Controller on order. And in regards to the game, what I might have to do, because I've got the Collector's Edition on pre-order, obviously, is that keep hold of my pre-order and potentially have to sort of buy the game normally and trade it in to go against my collection. So that's all that I wanted to do, a bit of information into my knowledge of the Monster Hunter games. As I keep saying, is that I'm not a brilliant player. I mean, I've seen some people who can do it, like who do naked runs and they do things using a very rubbish hammer. Well, I can't do any of that. But yeah, as I said, I'm really looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise. I did try the demo again. I completed the demo absolutely fine. I didn't spend an awful lot of time with it because I'd rather just play the main game. So yeah, I'm counting down the days for when Monster Hunter Rise does come into my hands, and I'm going to look forward to it. I thought I'll end on some more photos from Nick in his time in Japan. It seems to be some sort of mobile pinball game that looks fun.